we start? New
Let,
season. Are
let's
you?
talk about it. Yeah.
Have you gotten over the heartache of not winning the league from last season yet, Will? Is it still lingering?
I think it's still in my nightmares. Yeah,
Yeah.
yeah, for sure. I don't think I've gotten over it, but I think it's what I'm hoping for is that we learn from last season, and the transfers this season is telling me that we're working towards trying to nullify getting really tired. But with that, our schedule is going to be packed, so I have no idea how that's going to go.
You mentioned transfers, so like a good tool, but it's Kai Havertz. So what's your thoughts? I mean, for me, I don't get it. Every time people ask me on this transfer, he's been shit for Chelsea, like proper dog shit. And I can't see. You speak to any fans, he's been shit, and I can't see that what they paid 60 million for him. Right? How is he gonna get better or improve? He's just gonna be the same Kai Havertz. The transfer to me makes no sense, especially the fee. Uh, I yeah. Do you
To,
think he'll?
I think that they're looking at the Kai Havertz, who was at Leverkusen. Is that right?
Yeah, yeah, yeah.
Yeah. And he toured it up there. And obviously, when Chelsea had a shit time, I personally think he's shit as well.
But that's what I mean.
but
You speak to any fan. This is why I always say, like, what happens in the training picture and these managers and the expert, they must know something us mere fans don't know. Because you speak to 100 people, right? 99 of them are gonna say he's shit. It's not gonna work out. But here's Arteta and Eddie be like, yeah, 60 minutes. I'll have some of that. He's gonna bang in what 10, 15 goals. I don't.
It
Yeah.
it's not as easy as that, I don't think. I think on surface when we see things on paper, yeah, it's gonna look like he is shit. When it was in the rumors and we eventually signed him, I'm still skeptical for sure, purely because of his performances based on where he was at with Chelsea. Like he's what I see from what Mikel's trying to do is like, yes, he's got Premier League experience. He knows the league. He knows majority of how players play in respective um, um, areas of the pitch. But if you look at Mikel's track record in terms of when he's brought players in, he's really transformed a lot of those players. Like, let's take Shaka, for example, who has now left for Leverkusen, right? No one in this room or the vast majority of all the Arsenal fans that you see out there wanted him gone. Literally gone from the club. Obviously, with all the stuff antics that he made from coming off the field after I forget who it
Giving
was.
the fingers to the fans. Yeah.
Yeah, pretty
Yeah.
much, right? It's sacrilege, right? And a lot of fans have never recovered or forgiven him either for that. But if you look at his past two performances, um, well, past performances in the last two seasons, you'd probably think well, I'll have a bit of that. In my eyes, I don't think I think he's um gone through as a very underrated player over the last two seasons purely because of his past performances prior to Mikel Arteta. And I feel like when, and it's been bandied around and used too much, I think, like trust the process.
Hashtag
It
trust the
has.
process. Yeah.
It's not a process anymore, right? What we're trying to do now is bring in established players. And I know Kai Havertz, in many people's eyes, even Chelsea fans, are thinking, fucking hell, we got some dosh here, we got some good money for that. I feel like as the season goes on, we'll see the importance of Kai Havertz in this team. As we had the same opinion with Ramsdale coming in, um, we knew Saliba was a good player, but with how Mikel loaned him out for two seasons in a row, and then now he's come into it, it looks a massively good player. Tomiyasu playing left or right. They've proven themselves to be like really really integral pieces in our squad building. That's how I see it.
I'm saying, yeah, with that, like the Xhaka one was kind of great because last season he's been like pivotal, like he's scoring these goals from left, right, and centre just suddenly, and then people from like what you said, from all Arsenal fans saying like get out of my club to he's bloody a vital importance of our club. And now that he's gone, he's actually a player you lot will probably miss, but who knows if Kai Havertz filled that role.
I think Xhaka's a bad example actually, because if I look at someone like Pogba, for example, everyone hates him.
Yeah.
But if he banged it out like for 2 seasons,
yeah,
like Xhaka did, everyone would love him again. So,
but he didn't. Why is that?
No, he didn't. But you know, I feel, you know, I think when
anyone would, right? But it's down to coaching. It's down to how they enable the players, I think, behind the scenes. And I think like Amazon Prime and how they give you really good insights into the club and what they're doing, even though you do the little the freaking tree pictures and whatnot with the brain, squiggly brain. Yeah, but we laugh at it, but how many times have we done that at work when we team building or something along those lines where we're doing something stupid like that? I've had. But it really does help create that environment where everyone is trying to work together to a common cause, I feel anyway. Even as much as we find it stupid, and a lot of times when work does these workshops with us for team building, you think, what the hell is this? What's going on here? But actually, there is a trade-off for it in terms of a positive outcome, I feel.
I'm with you on that. These are these small things. It's like this, you know, those stupid exercises when you're frustrated and they'll be like, look at someone's eye and they're screaming in their face and loud. And when you're doing it, it's like, it's just so dumb, yeah? But I suppose if you do it, it's quite, you know, therapeutic and helps out. But again, me being me, I'm like, these things are bullshit. But if you buy into it, these things always help, innit?
Yeah, I think, obviously you can't take away what Arteta did, but he did choke at the end.
He did. And that's bottom line. Everyone will remember it for that as well.
He blew the biggest lead in Premiership history. I think Kevin Keegan had the biggest one.
I love it.
I love it. I love it.
I see the lights coming out now, boy. You wait and see, man. But like coming into this new season, I think it's gonna just be really difficult. Going like for Arsenal, we've got a lot of games to play.
I was gonna say, do you think they'll challenge again and be like I think we all agree Man City's going to take it again. Do you think Arsenal would actually be challengers and kind of get second again or second? Because I'm actually of the opinion I think Arsenal will struggle this season because the Arsenal we know just before last season were like 7th and 8th, that kind of thing, and you know, expected to lose. You know, they were like the mockery of the teams, right? And suddenly last season they were playing out their skins. You know, like I think first 10 games 1-9 or something like that, or just going on a mad run. And all those times where they were losing 2-0 down to whatnot, coming back, they were literally playing out their skins. They're like, you know, when you're a form player and like you're every game you're just, you know, shooting, banging in goals, right? But I think this season we'll see Arsenal temper back down to the Arsenal that we know and expect. You know, not quite 6th, not quite 7th, but if their levels will drop because, like I said, it's so hard to maintain that kind of form and good spell they were in. So you take Arsenal for them, they were playing out of their skins. Where you take the other teams like Man United, for instance. Man United had, I'd say, quite an average, you know, progression season. It weren't great, you know, it weren't that shit, but they still managed 3rd. So if they kind of stay along that lines or even go up one level, they're going to already improve on what they are. Whereas Arsenal, I can't see Arsenal sustaining what they did last season into a new season. They're going to go back to what we kind of expected of them. Do you know what I mean? Whereas the hype around them is built up at the moment. I just think they'll struggle. You've got all these teams coming back, and the level of what would just drop off.
Do you think last season we had lucky games that we won?
100% lucky games that we won. I can't. There's a few. Obviously, I think 2-0 down to
Bournemouth. I was at that game.
Yeah.
Who was that against?
Bournemouth.
Bournemouth, 2-0 down to Bournemouth, and then
I think it might
come
even been 3. To be
Is it
honest.
3? Something like that. I think
Yeah,
so.
it might
And
be.
I think it was
that
3-0.
That
Yeah.
was,
Yeah.
I think it's Nketiah. Was it not Nketiah? It was Nketiah scored a lot. No,
4-3 it ended or something like that.
It scored in injury time.
Yeah,
wasn't
Reece
Nketiah,
Nelson
it was
scored
Reece
the injury
Nelson,
winner
that's it.
on his
Yeah.
left. Yeah, he
Yeah.
just banged it into the top
So
corner.
your question is, were they involved in lucky games? 100%. And that's why I'm saying this season that luck is gonna run out a bit. And it weren't just completely luck, because what I'm saying, those wins and comebacks is the making of their own. Like I said, they had that belief, and I think this year that kind of belief ain't gonna quite be there, because they're not gonna be in that first. When you're kind of first, you kind of have this new belief of whatever you do. It's kind of like the Man United of old. When they were 1-0 down, 80th minute, Fergie time, they just had that belief that it's going to happen. Arsenal's not going to have that this season. So
Not only that, obviously Europe is a big distraction as
yeah,
well.
I totally agree, but just to counter some of those things we've added to the squad. But even if you look at the Man City game, which was lucky, and I'll come back to the element of luck, which was lucky and we won that, is that when we bring players off the bench in terms of this season, I'm not thinking, oh no, oh my god, why are we bringing on this guy on? I can't believe we're bringing. I'm not like that. I'm like, okay, cool. Like, this person that's coming on is going to add something to the game, can be a game changer. Whereas in the past, it was always the case of we had nothing. It was just fillers in coming on because a player was tired or whatever. There was no real plan around it. But I feel like this time or this season will be a lot more equipped because of that squad depth, and that's the most important thing. Like, especially when we're in Europe as well, is that squad depth is such a huge important aspect of if we're gonna do well or not. And I feel like we're better equipped than we ever have been in past seasons that have gone. But just going back on that luck aspect through some of there were probably 1 or 2 games, but I think there's a mentality instilled within the team now that I feel like we're going to have to fight until the end to get the result that we want. Where it can be seen as luck, but I think last season it was due to the fact that we didn't give up
yeah. Like I
at all.
said, it's easy to name it, put the word luck to it. But like I said, they make your own luck. You get what I mean? You're driving and pushing forward. So but I can't see it. So with all that, where do you think Arsenal's gonna finish this season then?
I want to say second again.
Yeah, Dave.
I would say, what did I have? I think outside the top 4.
Yeah.
Okay.
I'm with that. I actually think they'll finish 5th. That's what I'll say, outside top 4. Because like I said, going back to what I think all the other teams were just going to elevate themselves a little bit more, and Arsenal's kind of, as we said, luck or whatnot, or that drive is just not going to quite be there this season.
Yeah, I respect the your thought process around league positions. Chelsea are in a very similar position as Arsenal last year, where they don't have anything else really to focus on apart from the league and obviously FA Cup and Carabao. So, and they've got Poch, who is an extremely well-versed coach, but it is his first season with Chelsea, so there is a imbalance there in terms of, are they going to do well? I think they're going to be up there this season, especially. Liverpool have strengthened. They've got a really good player. I can't pronounce his name in the midfield. Yeah, he looks quality. I want to tell you now, he looks quality, and they've added McAllister as well into the midfield. So, and that's where their weak point was last season, and they've addressed it. So they'll be coming back in. Is Virgil past it? That's another question for Dave on his opinion. But yeah, I feel like if it's gonna be a top 4, and I can understand why you feel like Arsenal would have dropped out from it. But it's going to be, for me, City, United, Liverpool, Arsenal, and Chelsea fighting for it. But Chelsea are on the outside for me.
Don't forget to throw in Newcastle, or not quite yet again.
I don't think so. I think Newcastle will be in and around as well, but I don't think they'll reach the heights that they have from last season because they've got have they got Champions League actually? Yeah. So
they've got Champions League.
it's their first time in Champions League, and it's for a lot of those players. I know they brought in Tonali, but for a lot of those players, they don't really have that experience being in that environment, and I really don't believe their squad depth is strong enough, and they're going to waver at that prospect.
I feel they were similar to Arsenal in terms of playing up the skins last season, and it's very hard to do that again, keep those energy levels. And I'll talk. That's what happened to Liverpool. You know, to consistently perform as like Man City perform every season, and they're the public, they're the exception. But to perform that sort of consistently is very hard thing to do, and I feel
No, Liverpool been consistent for what, a good 3-4 seasons, no? But I think
last season it wasn't.
Yeah, last season was the only season that kind of caught up with them, where I think the loss of Mane and a loss of Mane was a big loss. Bobby Firmino tail end of his career. I think before you always relied on Mane, Salah, Bobby Firmino to kind of do the business, but Mane there, Bobby's on tail end, Nunes just getting started. That is why. So I think this season, give us a brief on Liverpool. What do you think? We're gonna win the league?
I think we'll be challenging. Last season was very disappointing, considering the season before we were on for the quadruple, and
ended up with one trophy. Yeah,
two.
Oh, is it two? Okay, fine.
League Cup and FA Cup, but we had potentially four. We come end of the season, we were all in four.
Yeah.
Last game of the season, can't really do anything because City had that edge in terms of points, and then Champions League final, fucking Real Madrid wankers.
Nemesis.
Nemesis. So I think having that disappointment and then carrying that through to last season, where we start off really really bad. Defensively, we never sort of recovered from where we sort of standard that we set, and then the midfield engine room looked tired. So I think there's been a lot of changes in midfield this season.
But that's where a big change is, because Henderson and Fabinho's gone. And
Yeah.
that's quite to lose two of them who were literally playing every game. That's quite a big.
I think with Hendo, he was coming towards the end of it anyway. He didn't play every game last season, and when he did, he got substituted after 60, 70 minutes to keep him fresh. And I feel Klopp's tactics or the way he plays is that sort of heavy metal midfield, bossing the game, closing down opponents, and I think it's probably inevitable that midfield is going to change at some point. So with Hendo, I'm not, I feel he's been a marvellous servant, and obviously, you can't turn down 700 a week.
Yeah.
Nice.
Well, Messi did, so there you go.
Yeah. But he's getting something equivalent in MLS. I think with shirt sales percentage and all the other stuff. So he's probably going to earn something quite similar for that. But 700 a week. He's been a fabulous servant, and I think 12 million for someone who's 34. He's not going to play every game. It's good. Fabinho, it's a funny one. When he came, he had a good, solid, probably 3 seasons, and then he started to tail off. And again, coming to end of 29, it's probably not bad to get 40 million. It's only at 29. But obviously, that wasn't in Klopp's plans to lose, like I said, two players with lots of experience. But we brought in that Hungarian guy that only Vo can pronounce.
Szoboszlai. I might even be saying it wrong myself, but that's how I read it. Szoboszlai, yeah.
So I've seen some videos of him. I saw a few preseason games. It looks really good. McAllister's a funny one because I never rated him.
At
So I
Brighton.
don't know. I don't know what
I
you
think
guys
he's
think of him.
consistent.
Yeah.
He's his XG for assists is quite high, and goals as well.
But a lot of his goals were penalties. He scored a few bangers here and there,
Yeah,
but
yeah.
yeah, he was the main penalty taker. So that's
Oh,
going to drop
okay.
off because no one's taking penalties off Salah.
Well, Salah, yeah,
Um,
yeah.
So,
but no,
so,
he
so
was. I'm only getting by like a lot of my kind of what stats of them is based off FPL, and he was right in FPL, so I'm
yeah,
guessing he should be all right.
but then he was at Brighton, so he probably saw a lot of the ball. He probably got forward quite a lot. Might be slightly different with Liverpool, but yeah, like I said, I never rated him, even though he's the World Cup winner.
Yeah.
That's a bit,
What about your defense, Dave? Like,
I think Virgil van Dijk. I think defenders go through some dips in form, and I think he has had one. But I still think he's a world class defender, and at 32, he's definitely not past it. So
and his partner?
his part, I think that's probably where I'm disappointed we didn't buy another defender.
Yeah. Anyway, the transfer window closes end of this month or the start of next month.
Yeah, so I don't. If you look at the options, I don't think Matip, even though he's probably good, it's probably good with the ball into distribution, bringing it out. I don't think he's that great. Joe Gomez again, he's probably those who are probably squad players. Konate, I think there's a mistake in him. I've seen performances where he's been like a rock, but then I've seen performances where he's not been that great. So I think our defence I'm still worried about that. But moving Trent into midfield might actually help some of that because he got exposed.
I don't know. They
It's
tried it
happening.
in friendlies, but then the most recent one, he went back to right back. So don't know.
I don't know. I thought when he did last season, we became a bit better in terms of I think won 9 in a row when he started that position. I wouldn't mind him seeing being in that now that we lost like Hendo and Fabinho. There's like more opportunity in midfield for him, even though we've signed 2 others. And I feel maybe so we don't get exposed at the back as much. Then maybe having him there might be good. But yeah, I think defensively I'm still worried. It's because we can't find a good partner for Virgil. But obviously Robertson left back solid, Alisson solid.
Do you think Nunes is gonna have a better season than last?
Yeah, he's been doing all right pre-season. I think everyone was. Even I was doing it. I was comparing him to Haaland when the first signed, and obviously Haaland's at a different level.
Fraud, mate. Yes, a fraud.
But a lot of players need that year to settle in. There's some exceptions, obviously. So Haaland being one. I think Diaz is an exception. He came straight into the team, performed. There's a lot of players that need that sort of year to settle.
Diaz is back as well, so
yeah. So our forward line is immense, even though we lost Firmino. Right.
No, it's definitely improved because you got what Diaz is back from injury. Jota always has a good run. Gakpo, who's I don't know, not seen too much from Gakpo that's impressive, and I think
he's had a good pre-season, Gakpo.
Yeah, like he's been sharing that up front role with Nunes, isn't it? So their time would be split.
So I feel we're probably stronger than last season, despite everything. Just because Nunes got another year, Jota's back, Diaz is back, got a couple of new midfielders. If Trent plays in that role, and I feel we definitely will be challenging. Last year wasn't
challenging.
Challenging.
So go on then. What's Liverpool's final position?
I would like to think Man City is a lot stronger than last season.
Yeah.
And I feel we've probably got a really good chance of winning.
You reckon? You're gonna win the league, yeah?
I'm gonna put my dick on the line now.
Don't do that. I don't want to see it. I need to get my magnifying glass out first.
I was just about to say it's too big for the screen. But yeah.
No.
I'm gonna back my team.
And you think first?
And I'm gonna say first and 100% first when Mbappe comes as well. So
Mbappe comes, yeah. Loan signing.
yeah, but I think Man City is not strong as last season. I think Gundogan is a big blow for them. Mahrez as well. Even though Mahrez is a squad player, he chipped in with so many goals.
Yeah.
Yeah, he came like
Yeah.
I was gonna say, but Mahrez, I don't understand. I don't know how many winning goals he kind of scored or whatnot.
Yeah,
he kind of comes on when they was it a lot? Because I was gonna say I got a feeling that he comes on when they're 2-0 up, and then he bangs in 2 goals to make it 4-0.
Oh no,
so,
you think the opposite.
When you're losing that, maybe it's not as important when you put it like that. You know what I mean?
There's definitely times where he has come on, obviously to get playing time, where City are up. It's not as important anymore to stay wherever, but Pep is a genius, right? He gets it right, so he's got a lot out of that player.
No,
but
when you say
but
Pep's
you
a genius,
you think so? You say that even with Haaland, he had to come from behind to win the league, and then he didn't really piss it. In previous seasons, he's pissed it, hasn't he?
Yeah.
He's got 99, 98, 100 points. And he's got Haaland, and he can't achieve that. Now, whether that's Haaland, changing the team formation, whatever, the fact is he's got probably the best player in the world, striking the world for sure. And they sort of still struggled with what I saw.
No, I just
that's why
they didn't walk the league because Arsenal was playing that good. You know what I mean? Other than Arsenal doing good last season, everyone else was shit. So if it weren't for Arsenal, City would have pissed the league as per usual. Do you know what I mean? But City, like I said, Pep's a genius, but we'll see whether he is or not. Because in terms of City getting weaker, it is a strange move of the players they've kind of sold. So again, two seasons back, they've lost Jesus and Zinchenko. And already we're like, oh, how come he's losing them? And then this season, like you said, Gundogan, who was super important, Mahrez, and hasn't replaced them with anyone. So they've definitely kind of gone weaker. It just seems, I'm sure Pep knows what he's doing, isn't it? It just seems strange sales.
Yeah.
And not so much incomings.
And if there's rumours about Silva leaving as well.
I think he's confirmed they're staying now. They've rejected it.
Is it? He's got a contract extension or something like that. I've seen.
Like I said, even he was rumoured to be going, but no, he's staying. Kyle Walker staying. So it's just Mahrez.
I don't think they can afford to lose any more players. And obviously they've got a lot of things going on internally in terms of the FFP and stuff like that. So I think they need to be careful in terms of bringing new people in. I think they have spent a lot on their academy, and I think it's time now that they're gonna lean on the academy a little bit more. You've seen the youth that was playing in Community Shield. He actually looked all right. I'm not gonna lie. He looked all right.
Palmer's gonna have his outstanding. He's ready, isn't it? Maybe.
He looks ready. He looks ready.
Banging goal.
Yeah. So
we'll see. Obviously, you can never count City out, but it feels to me they are weaker.
Yeah. Will they ever drop out of the top 4?
No, not while Pep's there. Not while Pep's there. Okay. And then even while Pep's gone, they're probably strong enough to stay for a few more seasons yet. You know what I mean? Although I remember someone jokingly said maybe Pep is he's planning to leave soon, so he's basically weakening the team, so his successor won't have so it'll make him look better, kind of thing. When the comes in, City's crap by then because he's got rid of all the good players, and then we'll say Pep was the genius. You know what I mean? See?
All these conspiracy theories, man. Damn.
Gotta play the long game, Gotta play the long game.
Well, we've got 10 minutes or so.
What we're going to talk about United.
Yeah.
The news is Harry Maguire's gone. Harry Maguire's gone.
Has he? Oh my god! That's his celebrate. No.
not even just Harry Maguire. Harry Maguire's confirmed to West Ham and Scott
Yeah.
McTominay rumours, but yeah, I actually think he'll do good at West Ham. I think that's his level. He was
It's
never.
true. It's true.
It's true. You know, certain players when they play in that kind of playing for Everton kind of thing, you do proper sick, and you get that big move to one of the bigger clubs, and then you just can't hack it. And I think Harry Maguire is that player. Man United was just too many levels above for him. But you watch him go West Ham, and he's gonna be like give you solid performances. You know, like those 7 out of 10s each game, that kind of thing. Whereas United,
Less pressure as well.
He was giving these mistakes here and there. I just think, again, it comes back to coaches and that sees more than what we see. We see Harry Maguire dog shit crap, giving away for free, whereas there's got to be players qualities there. Like for England, for example, he's always starting and he actually does good for England. Whereas we're like, he doesn't deserve a spot. There was even, when going to the World Cup, people said Harry Maguire shouldn't deserve a space because he weren't playing for United. But like I said, it goes deeper than that. So I think at West Ham, he's going to be a good signing. So like Moyes, Man United legend, mate, getting rid of Maguire for us. So there you go. But Mason Mount, any opinions? I can't. For me, Mason Mount, right? Bargain? Really? How much is it?
Yeah.
50 mil. I'm not sure.
Yeah.
I'm not sure, but Mason Mount for me is a similar signing. When Man United signed Eriksen, right? Eriksen was again a good, quality player, but again not what Man United needs to elevate themselves to win the league or challenge for the league. So like he's nice and tidy, but then when I compare it, is that a team like Man United, a team like Man City or like Liverpool wouldn't even go near Eriksen because they're looking for something better to kind of challenge for that league. So when he signed for United, I just thought it kind of just showed where United were then at that point, like just kind of a top 4 team. And I think Mason Mount, same thing. He'll tidy, he'll tick over. I don't think he's going to improve them to what they need. Because you're shaking your head, Will. You think you're a fan of him?
I think you got a quality player there for the amount of money that you paid.
I don't think so either. Again, just like other players, I don't rate him.
Okay. I actually rate him. Like he's a good, hard-working engine in that midfield, and you need Manchester United needs a player like that.
No, Manchester
Did you
United
see his
need to
miss
get
in the friendly?
Yeah.
Yes. You know what?
Can't take those isolated incidents, but I know. But it's like that. That is what we're getting for Mason Mount.
You're telling me 100% fit Mason Mount in that Chelsea format, you wouldn't take him?
Over who? For example.
Who is out there though?
No. Okay, so my option would be Maddison or Mason Mount, and for me, Maddison is a better signing than Mason Mount. So I think even Mason Mount, Maddison, Kai Havertz, those kind of same price range player.
Kai Havertz was the worst one out.
I'll take Mount over Havertz, but I think Maddison over Mount would have been more tidy. So
what did he do last year for Leicester though,
Maddison, he still scored I think 14 goals. I don't know his stat. He still scored quite a few goals, and he can't. They're a relegated team. They're like relegation form. No one could do anything in that team. So then, same question there. What did Mount do for Chelsea?
They finished mid-table.
Yeah, I mean
they finished mid-table. They did better than Leicester.
Oh no!
If you compare it, Chelsea finishing mid-table. Where did they finish? Like 12th.
12th.
I guess mid-table. Chelsea finishing 12th is probably worse for them than Leicester getting relegated, even though Leicester being ex-champions. Or do you not think? I think, yeah. A team of Chelsea's caliber should not be finishing 12th. Whereas Chelsea.
Look at the management, though. Look at the laughing stock of management.
Regardless of that, they had a strong squad on paper, really strong squad on paper.
A squad of 40, 60 players.
I know the things in the boardroom and all that shit, but at the end of the day, you still got 11 players that have to perform on the pitch.
Yeah, no, I really boil it down to the coaching of Chelsea. I think with Poch at the helm, it's going to be different.
It didn't help having Frank Lampard there. Even though that was last. That were all the settle for
A
mid-table,
joke.
but I know.
A
But
joke.
Mason Mount, yeah, I don't know. You know, it's not really lit up the international stage either. I know Madison hasn't done so either, but you know,
So Madison last year he got 10 goals in a relegated Leicester team, and Mason Mount, but Mason Mount, I think his minutes were down, but he scored 3 goals in a Chelsea team. So there you go. I'll take Madison over Mount.
but
Okay.
I think Mount is probably he's still an improvement in your United midfield.
Yeah, I mean, yeah, I'll say so because what I mean,
It's not the sort of player you should be signing. I agree.
that's what. Yeah, I'm
Yeah,
with
yeah,
that. He's not
yeah,
the player
yeah.
Man United should be signing, and I link it to the fact that I don't think a team of Man City and Liverpool would be signing a Mason Mount. So when they were kind of linked to that, I just again, it's a bit like Havertz again. Am I not seeing what these people? But for me, Mount is a better signing than Havertz. I can't see anything in Havertz, so I take my order would be Madison, Mount, Havertz.
Okay.
And then
What? Go on. What about What about the rest?
no, that's it. That's who else we got? The goalkeeper
Um,
DDG's gone. Oana lob from halfway line. So look, at least he's got it out of his system in the preseason. But
He's got it in him, full stop,
do
mate.
you know?
Have
uh,
Do
you
you
not
know?
seen the
but
highlights?
it's
Yeah,
got
you
such
said
a
the highlights.
it's got such a high pass percentage rate.
Yeah. Do you know
I
what
don't know
annoys
if
me
it-
about a signing
yeah.
of such an Onana? Because you know Onana, he was at Ajax for 2 seasons,
Mm.
and we kind of seen him in Champions League and knew about him already. And then he had this little drug ban thing, and then Inter came in for him for free. And I think Arsenal was linked, like loads of teams were linked to him, and he was literally available for free. And kind of no one kind of goes for him, and Inter does. And he spends 1 season at Inter, has a good season, and then suddenly, bam, that's 50 million. So again, I don't get these football clubs. Like, what are these? Suddenly, so what I'm saying, he's gone from one season to being worth nothing and no one hardly interested to being a 50 million keeper. That baffles me because where's the justification in that? You know, when he was free and nothing, you weren't interested, and now he has, you know, a decent season. He's suddenly a 50 million keeper, and I think that price tag is kind of a bit inflated because now we're gonna be like, oh, he's 50. It's a bit like Kepa. You know, when Kepa came in, he was like 70 million. It was that price tag that made us kind of, you know, diss him more than he deserved. Do you get what I mean? If Kepa was signed for 30 million, he probably justified a 30 million kind of price tag. Whereas when he was 70, we're like, man, you're crazy. So it's a bit like Onana. We're going to expect a 50 million keeper, but in actual fact, he's probably not quite that. But that's what happens when Man United are interested, and then that's you just have to pay the big bucks. So
I think as a big club, as ours, you're always gonna find that you have inflated
yeah.
transfer fees purely because we are a big
Because
club
yeah,
and
yeah, and they know they got the money. Because
yeah,
if it weren't Man United signing on Onana, someone else came for him, they probably would accept like 35 million. Do you know what I mean?
yeah,
That kind of thing. But because
yeah.
it's Man United and yeah, so
But
again that's true.
the whole transfer fees now has shifted. Like 50 is like the new 20 million or something like that.
Yeah, yeah.
Yeah.
Now.
I mean,
So
Scott McTominay, Man United rejected 30 million for him. So you know, there you go. They rejected 30 million. So they're probably pricing him as again 40, 50. Yeah, it's crazy.
We do forget how, I mean, for some people it might not be a lot, but you know, a £1,000,000, even £500,000. If someone said you're gonna give you £500,000, you'll take it. You'll snap her arm off for it, right?
Mm.
I think in footballing terms, it has been overinflated now. Like we don't really appreciate the incremental amounts. So yeah, we should try and not look at it in a very numbed way. We're very anesthetized to the transfer fees. Oh, why can't we just throw in 5 million? Is a lot of fucking money. Is it not?
yeah, but
Is
not
it
in the world
not?
not in the world of football.
I don't know. I beg to disagree with that. But
I get what you mean, but in the grand scheme of things, like we're like the Premiership, for example, every team has $1 billion contract with Sky. Part of they get through the funding, so 5 million is actually
Maybe they can afford to think like that, but I think for us fans, we shouldn't take it lightly. Like, I think football clubs are trying to be more shrewd now in the way that they do deals. Structure of deals is not just 60 million pound on table and then that's it. I don't. Most cases it might well be, but a lot of the cases now it's like installments, whether just like the Raya deal, like 3 million pound for a loan deal for David Raya to come into the Arsenal team with an option to buy for 27 mil. That's an amazing structure for a deal. We can say yes or no at the end of it and be still like just 3 million down.
It's because yeah, I get that. He's only got 1 year left on his contract.
No. Brentford made a contract extension for Raya.
Oh, okay.
They
I
have a
thought
contract
he had
extension.
1 year. That's why.
Yeah, he did have 1 year, and then I guess the initial conversation was, oh, we'll buy him off you.
Yeah.
But I think in the end, what happened is they structured it so that David Raya will get a new contract with Brentford, but he'll come to Arsenal for 3 million with an option to buy for 27 million, and then Arsenal can say yes or no. It's not an obligation to buy either, to see whether he fits in or not, and then if not, then he goes back to Brentford with retaining his value of whatever Brentford value him at, which is, I guess, 40 million, 30 to 40 million, and Brentford kind of wins in that sense as well because they've retained value to sell the player on.
Yeah, Arsenal's got a great deal out of that. It's like everything's in their favour. 3 million, yeah, and then in the end you don't even have to.
He's a
buy
great
him.
keeper. Who
What,
did
him
not
or-
have him in the FPL?
Yeah, but it's all interesting who's gonna win the number 1.
Yeah, him or
I think
Ramsdale?
Ramsdale until too many mistakes happen. I think.
So,
Yeah, but who does their job better?
Who?
Who's better doing their job?
I think distribution-wise, I think Raya is slightly better in terms of distribution. Not to say Ramsdale's bad. I'm still Ramsdale. I still regard Ramsdale as number 1.
Yeah.
For me, but hey, we've got the best of both worlds here. Like we can interchange whenever we need to with quality, rather than having. I know Matt Turner's like an international
Matt
US
Turner's
star.
gone.
He's gone to
So, yeah.
Nottingham Forest, yeah, but I think it's definitely an upgrade from Matt Turner, especially with the way Raya plays. He's a very good shot stopper as well. Raya.
Do you know what's funny?
Do
you know what's funny about this? The whole situation is, when someone I don't know the analogy, but when you cheat on someone with a girlfriend, you steal someone's girlfriend, for example, and then you're like, see, that would never happen to me. That's kind of happened what happened to Ramsdale. Ramsdale came in when Leno was there. So he came in and you Billy Big Bollocks try to steal the number 1, and he's probably thinking, I've got number 1 now, it's not gonna happen to me. And now Arteta's doing exactly the same thing that he did to Leno by bringing in as good as a keeper, and then
I think it's slightly different. No, I think it's slightly different though. Sorry, go on, Dave.
I think you got a problem there already with those keepers, because both of them want to be number 1, right? And how are you going to keep both of them happy?
Not a problem. Not a problem. We've got enough games to cater for both of them.
I still disagree, because you look at all the top clubs in the world; they don't have 2 number 1 keepers.
Yeah, no, it's a strange situation to put themselves into, but I would say it doesn't matter too much, because at the end of the day, remember, Raya is on a loan deal. So if anything, you keep Aaron Ramsdale happy, like you push him, number 2, make him better. Push him, yeah. And even if David Raya kind of rots on the bench and unhappy, whatever, he's at the end of the season, that kind of thing. That's why it's a good deal.
Why would Raya go to Arsenal without having some sort of assurance?
He wants to leave Brentford anyway. So he's got the best. Everyone wins. Everyone wins in that situation. That's why I think it's such a great deal. If Raya doesn't do well at Arsenal, the main thing Arteta wants for Ramsdale is competition and maybe get him to another level. Who knows what that might be? But then also we have another quality keeper who would actually push him to that level as well. And you only get him for 3 million, and we can test it out. We can see whether he's worth it or not. That 27 mil or 30 mil in total. By the end of the season, whether or not he's done his job in terms of pushing Ramsdale or pushing himself to number one.
I look what happened to Chelsea having Mendy and Kepa.
Mm-mm.
You know that didn't work out for them.
But we're not Chelsea.
I know. And then PSG had it with Navas and
Donnarumma.
Yeah, Donnarumma.
Yeah, but that's fine because if you think about it, it actually worked out because then they kept Donnarumma happy and Navas kind of unhappy, but whatever, they didn't care, and then Navas went Forest. So I don't see having two.
It's not just keeping people happy. I think the club suffers, the team suffers.
No, I firmly believe that those two keepers will elevate each other. Ray is going to fight for number one, right? So he's going to turn out. Yeah. Maybe he might be pissed not getting onto the pitch, but he'll get his chance if Ramsdale fucks up. If Ramsdale doesn't fuck up, that's good for us as well, because at the end of the day, he's elevated himself in terms of his performance, right? I see it like that, and I see it with how Mikel's Arteta has built the team. It is full of competition. Everyone fighting for their place, and we need that, especially with Champions League. Like you need it.
Okay, I still disagree slightly.
Yeah,
I understand the reason behind it, but yeah,
I think it's alright. I don't see any issues with having two top
especially
keepers.
as a loan deal as well, because he can fuck off at the end of it.
Okay. So the next 7-a-side vote, me and you go on the same team, yeah?
Yeah,
we'll fight it out.
As soon as you let one through your arms, I'm in.
Get out! How you doing, Dave? He'll probably do it on purpose as well.
Anyway, Man United finishing position.
Yeah.
I'm gonna say same again. They're probably, like I said, last season they weren't shit. They weren't great. It'll probably be the same season of that. I think third again. City. Liverpool, United third. Maybe Newcastle fourth.
Yeah, scum saying that. But how do you feel about Ten Hag in his first year, full year? Like,
do you know what was weird? Because you know when he first started and everyone was lapping him up like Ten Hag ball, Ten Hag that, right? And then we had a decent kind of start and middle, and then we tailed off towards the end. And then remember towards the end of the season, Liverpool were again challenging for that last fourth spot.
Yeah.
And then that's what made me think everyone's been getting how great Man United season's been and how shit Liverpool's been all the season. And in the end, they were literally just 3 points or 4 points, behind. So it just kind of shows you the expectation of what Man United was and what Liverpool was. And then so I think this season now it's really weird because he's always just gone back to Ajax and just grabbed his players that he wants. I mean, I think is Martinez, Onana, Van der Beek's there, but he doesn't play. Anthony. So that's like what four players from Ajax. It's just Ajax 2.0. But I think
he's going with what he knows and what has worked in the Dutch league, right?
Yeah, but is Dutch league good enough for quality to bring it over like literally 3 or 4 players and then convert it into Man United, who's
he did
it
with Leipzig though as well.
I think they're different leagues, and they're both weaker leagues. You look at Anthony, you paid 72 million. He's not really set the world on fire.
90 million. There's nearly 100 million.
Oh, 90 million. Sorry.
Yeah.
Being generous there, Dave.
But saying that, I actually think Anthony he didn't do too bad. He came in January, right? And it's always difficult coming in January. I think he's still got 4 goals, a few assists. I think this season he actually would do better. So I think, like I said, for Ten Hag, I'm more than happy. Like, it's better than. It's definitely been an improvement on what the Moisey and the Solskjaers of this world. So, like I said.
He needs to sort his connection out. Okay.
Yeah, we still here.
Yeah.
Yeah, your
You're
lips aren't moving when you talk
you're
though.
you're frozen. So.
Player?
Breakout player.
Players, yeah? Okay.
Breakout player.
Oh, we
Oh,
lost
I was
him.
going to say,
Oh no. He's gotta reconnect to this now. Have a little
sorry.
think whilst we
We're,
wait. We
we're,
can
getting, we're
edit. We
getting
can
to the
edit it out. Yeah.
bits. Yeah. No, it's a tough one because out of the new signings, is there anyone or so I would say like all the Arsenal players probably had the breakout season last season. Like, in a way.
Still okay. Yeah.
In a
I
way.
won't tell you what mine is, but yeah, you can.
Okay. Hard question. I wish you told me this before, so I can.
Yeah. We'll
Uh,
have to do that for
yeah.
next season, like next session
Let me look at
to get those
look at
questions
let me look at the transfers in was
transferred. Alright, let me tell you who
okay.
my player
Go on,
would,
mate.
and it is an Arsenal player, but Jurian Timber, our right back,
Yeah,
straight
right
left
back.
back, straight
Yeah,
centre
yeah,
back. He's something else, and he's from Ajax as well.
yeah, yeah,
I firmly believe that he's gonna have a wicked season. And my flop is also an Arsenal player, which is
yeah.
Kai Havertz. I really want him to do well. I just can't see him doing well for the transfer fee that we paid for him as well.
Yeah,
I think
that's true.
Rice, he's going to always be inflated because he's an English player. He's not worth any more than 70 to 80 million
Mm.
on a normal basis, right? But Rice will give us that consistency and that solidarity in our midfield. So I'm not concerned about Rice. It's Havertz that I'm really concerned with. Um, so they're both Arsenal players. So we just have to
Yeah,
see, right? We just have
yeah.
to see.
Well, we'll have to see. I get what you mean. I get what you mean about Timber. There's a lot of hype around it. Um, just trying
Were
to
you
think.
looking through the transfers?
Yeah, I'm looking for transfers. I think the City centre back,
Garvidal,
uh,
goes whatever
Garvadol.
it
Yeah,
is.
yeah, yeah,
Yeah.
yeah. I think he's going to be the breakout.
Really?
Yeah,
He's decent. I'm saying he's decent, and he's already performing at a high level. I don't think he's gonna be breakout. I think he's gonna be consistent all the way through. I don't think he's gonna be breakout though.
I think he will.
Wow. Okay. Okay.
And then I'm going Mount as the flop.
That's the flop.
Yeah,
Ooh. Okay. Why is that
bit
though?
chill. I just feel, I don't know, I feel, no. I've never rated him anyway.
Yeah.
And I think he's just going from one big team to another. You know,
Oh, look better. Looks
Hey,
better there.
I'm back on my
he does on
phone.
pass.
I don't know. I'm hoping the recording still worked though.
I think I'm,
Or
rec-
Yeah,
I'm
I'm sure it saved
it's
down.
upload. It's being uploaded. It's being uploaded as we stream. Yeah.
yeah, yeah.
It must still work in the end. It must have back up.
Well,
Anyway,
we can go first.
yeah, what did I miss?
Oh, so it's two Arsenal players that I've gone for those. Breakout is Jurian Timber. He looks like quality that we purchased him for a very satisfactory fee.
Just a terminology. Breakout, is that not normally like someone who's been in a team and then just steps it up, rather than a new.
No, I just wanted to know who's gonna have like a breakout season, not a breakout player. Who's gonna suddenly
Right.
step up this season and be
Okay.
like, oh shit, he's done well. Could be anyone. You know what
I
I mean?
still think it's going to be during Timber. We know his quality, but I think when we say quality, like it's not superstar. I think he's going to be one of those superstar defenders within our team, and obviously the flop would be Kai Havertz purely because of the price tag that he's been purchased at, and what effectiveness that he's going to have for the team. I think he'll do a job, but in terms of all the other signings, he would probably be considered as a flop. Don't forget, like we paid what 70 million for Pepe, and look where he is now. He's still like lingering somewhere. Like this,
Yeah.
he's just in the background somewhere, and we're trying to sell him. We're trying to terminate his contract or whatever. But I really do strongly feel because of the price tag that Kai Havertz has been purchased at, he's not a 65 million pound player for me. And that's probably why people will see him as a flop. Because if you spend 65 million pounds, you expect to see some shit happening, right? I just can't see it with him right now. I hope he proves me wrong. But yeah, it's two Arsenal players that are in that category for breakout and flop for me.
I'll just scour the transfers to find out, because obviously this is all it's all live. So
It doesn't have to be a new transfer, but yeah.
So
Anyway.
I think got the City centre back Garville
Carvidor or something.
Garville, yeah. I think he's gonna, yeah.
Garvidal.
He's gonna really like show his worth in this league, especially because City need a good centre back in a way. So I think he's going to prove that. And then my flop is Mount. Mason Mount. I never rated him anyway. I think
So
I don't think what can he contribute to United. You got Bruno running the show. You got Casemiro. It's don't know. I don't know what he can bring all. So I think he's going to be flop.
Do you know if Mount flops again, he just goes the signings Man United done be terrible because it'd be Sancho a couple of seasons ago and now Mason Mount. So let's hope Mason Mount has a decent season. For mine the breakout for me, I think Julian Alvarez at City. I think he had a decent first season. I think this season is going to be. I mean, he needs to start, but I reckon there's a high chance he will start more. The fact that, like I said, all the players that's kind of gone, Mahrez gone right wings, Alvarez can kind of play. De Bruyne's a bit injured, and then when he was, Alvarez kind of slot in the midfield a bit. So I think if he kind of gets opportunity, I think he'll score way more goals than he really did. And even last season in his kind of cameos, he's got quite a good few goals there. So as long as he gets the minutes, I think he's been a quality player. And also remember he's a World Cup winner, so that always helps. And then the flop, I think we already mentioned. My biggest flop is probably going to be Kai Havertz. Like I said at the start, I just don't see anything in him. I just don't think he's suddenly going to elevate himself higher than what we've seen at Chelsea. So yeah, there's going to just be another flop. But maybe Arsenal won't need him as much. But with Jesus out, if he's up front, there's going to be
I think so.
Comedy show.
I mean, there's a dark horse in there with Onana as well. Like we have to see, right? We have to see, but that he's potentially one of them ones as well. Yeah.
A flop. I think he'll be all right. Then he'll be all right. Because I think Man United's defense would be okay. So, but bear in mind, DDG had a lot of mistakes. So how much more worse can Onana be? You know what I mean? And he's not gonna get lobbed from the halfway line every week. You know what I mean?
On the back, I think he's still a decent keeper in the day. As
As long as he don't let one through his legs
We'll
like
see.
baby on his
There's probably a few
debut,
others out
I
there
think he'll be
that you
alright.
mentioned. Yeah.
Shall see.